Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I'm so excited to be here with you guys this Wednesday. And today we are going to be talking about how to use this handy button gauge and point turner by Dritz. This was sent in your most recent shipment. So this month's shipment, which is it already August? I can't believe it. It's already August. So the August 22 shipment came with one of these button gauge and point turners. So if you are a member with our sewing club, you will have received these. So I'm going to show you really quick how to use this. Before I get started, I'm super curious if you have already used one of these or if you have one. So comment below if you had one before you received this in the monthly shipment and or if you have already used one. Go ahead and comment below. I'm super curious. Okay, a little bit before we get started on the tutorial, if you're watching this on our Facebook page or YouTube and you want to get more involved with the other sewers that watch this, you can head to our Facebook group by typing in this address, sewwhatbox.com/group. That will redirect you there, and then you can sign up and join in with all the conversations and sharing pictures of your projects there. If you are listening to me talk about the membership and this part of the shipment that was received this month, and you're curious what that's all about, you can go to sewwhatbox.com and you can find out all about our fun sewing membership. It comes with monthly shipments full of pre-cut sewing kits with everything that you need to make the project, extra fabrics to use or add to your stash, and sewing tools and sewing tips and sewing tutorials. So if you want to learn more, you can go to sewwhatbox.com. Okay, so this, I have not opened this one yet, so I'm going to open this one here with you guys live. And if you have any questions or comments or anything, and even if you're watching the replay, feel free to leave those comments below and I will get back to you on this. So if you look really close at this, I guess I'm holding it upside down. I don't know if you can really see in the camera, but there are measurements along the edge. So you can use this as a little mini ruler, but this will also come in handy when we get to the buttons. First, I'm going to show you how to use the point turner. So I have sewn this piece of fabric together and I'm going to turn it inside out. See, we're going to have one point, kind of like if it was a collar or something with corners. I just had this little piece of fabric that I wanted to show you guys with. Before you turn something with corners right side out, you should always trim the seam allowance next to the corner. This keeps it from getting bunchy and bulky right there, and it just lets it lie flatter once you get it turned. So here's what it looks like before. And then I'm just going to trim this down, not all the way to the stitching, but close. And what's that? That's just going to let it fold and lay down flat. So now we're just going to turn this right side out like normal. But you know how the corners don't quite get all the way out? Sometimes you use a pencil or a pen or the dull end of scissors, but this works way better. See how there's a point at the end that is going to be super pointy, but not sharp? Look at how nice that gets that corner poked out. You cannot get it that good with a pen or anything. So then once you'll do this, you will just go and iron this flat and it will be a nice crisp corner. Now, if you don't get a corner quite this crisp, it's because you didn't quite trim off enough of that seam allowance. So just flip it right side out and trim off a little more. You don't want to go super close to the end, but what could happen is that you haven't cut down far enough away from the corner. So you want to be probably at most, let me see, there you go, you can see that, probably like 1/8 of an inch away from that seam up here where you cut it off. Okay, so that was pretty cool, right? Well, that's not all this tool does. So it has a button gauge, and I'm going to show you how to use that because when I first saw this, I thought, what the heck does that even do and why would I need it? So let me grab my coat that I have here that is going to show you guys what I mean by the buttons. Now think about when you have a thick coat or something and you try to put the button, like the buttonhole over the button, and it's too tight and the button doesn't really come out. Well, that's where this comes in. So if you look, the side next to the point is skinnier than the side over here. Now that's important because you will use the pointy side, the skinny side, for medium weight fabrics, and you'll use the fatter side for heavier weight fabrics. What this basically is going to do is going to put a spacer between your fabric and your button as you sew it on so that you don't sew it too tight to the fabric and leave room for the buttonhole to go around it. So if this was my button that I'm sewing on, this is a medium weight, so not super thick. So I would put this, see how my button is in that little gauge? I would hold it there like that as I sew this on so that I don't accidentally pull those threads too tight and make the button too tight from the fabric. Basically, this button gauge is working as a spacer that will then um, be exactly where this side will sit when you button it all together. So basically that spacer on the button gauge is just taking place of this fabric so that you don't accidentally make the button too tight that this fabric won't fit between the button and this fabric. So if you're working with thicker fabrics, you're going to want to use this thick side. See how you can see it's thicker? If you're working with medium thick fabrics, you're going to want to use this side. And if you're working with really lightweight fabrics, you don't really need a spacer because they're so thin and lightweight. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you with this button spacer, since there are measurements on the side here, you can use those to get an even spacing between your buttons as you go along. So for instance, if I had this set in here, up tight against the button, I can measure how far until my next button and make that mark there all at one time. So you don't need another ruler to do that. Okay, guys, so I hope that that helped. Again, I'm curious if you had one of these before your monthly shipment this month, or if you've ever used one. Go ahead and comment below, and I will love to read those. If you had any questions as we went through this live video, I was watching for comments below, but might have missed some with the way that comments come in on YouTube and Facebook. So keep commenting. I'll come back and check those. Even if you are watching the replay instead of the live video, I will come back and check those. Again, if you guys tuned in after the very beginning and you want to join our Facebook group to get more inspiration and stuff, you can go to sewupbox.com/group, and that will take you to the Facebook group. If you are curious what the sewing membership is about, you can check out our website at sewupbox.com, and there's even an offer there to get your first box free on select membership plans. So go over there and check it out. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you right here next Wednesday at 1 p.m. For another live video. Thanks for watching, guys.